Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Installment of Scott Selections here for Tuesday, August 2nd. Before we get into today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We had a loss in tennis with Goyocic, minus 1.5 games at minus 130 on DraftKings. Beat a huge line move. I believe 1.5 games closed at like minus 160. You look at the actual money line, it went from like minus 148 to minus 175. Pair lost 7 in a row. He didn't look motivated for the last couple of months in singles matches. And then Paris showed up and played the best match he's played arguably all year. And Goyocic lost in straight sets. Props to Pair. He got broken in his first service game and did not face a break point for the rest of the match. Was still competitive. It was 7-5, 6-4, but picked up a loss there and look for a bounce back winner here on Tuesday. And for today's play, we're going to go back to the WNBA, looking at a game between the Sparks and the Liberty taking place at around 7 p.m. Eastern time. And for this matchup, like the Liberty at home, minus 3.5 at minus 114 on FanDuel. Time recording of 1 a.m. Eastern time. Couple reasons why I like the Liberty in this spot. First reason, these two teams heading in opposite directions. Overall record-wise, these teams are pretty similar. The Sparks are not good, and the Liberty have been equally not good. Sparks are 12-17, and the Liberty are 11-18. However, recent form, last couple of games, the Liberty have looked a lot sharper. The Liberty have won 2 of their last 3 games, including a very nice win against the Sky at home, and the Sky are one of the best teams in the league. They also ended up winning their last game against the Mercury at home by 20 points on Sunday. Meanwhile, the Sparks are in the middle of a massive implosion. The Sparks have lost each of their last 3 games by at least 7 points, and the implosion is mostly beneath the surface because they ended up getting rid of their star center, Liz Cambridge, via contract divorce. In other words, they cut her, and people were wondering if she was a bad teammate or if the chemistry was off, and it seems like it's a mix of both because Cambridge was taken out, and the Sparks are still awful. And if you want to go through the actual numbers for the Sparks recently, the defense has been a mess, and it's been a mess all season long, especially at the three-point line. The Sparks are currently allowing opponents to shoot 38% from the three-point line this season, which is easily the highest mark in the league. They are the worst three-point defense by far, and it's not that close. Meanwhile, the Liberty have been very reliant on three-point shooting all season long. The Liberty rank number 1 in the league in three-point attempts and number 4 in three-point percentage. So the Liberty have really embraced the live by the 3, die by the 3, I'd say, kind of ideology. And the fact that the Sparks are so bad guarding it, I think is actually a very good matchup for the Liberty to take advantage of in this matchup. Plus, if you want to go through the actual injury report, the Sparks might be a little bit shorthanded in the backcourt. Both Tolliver and Brown are questionable for this game. Each of them have started at least 10 games this season, so the Sparks might be, I'd say, forced to either use a very limited rotation or to use a couple of bench warmers who don't play that much. But I do think the Liberty should take advantage of the Sparks' weak backcourt in this matchup. And if you want to actually look at the travel spot, it's not a great one for the Sparks because they ended up playing at home on Sunday, lost to Minnesota by 7, but they had a day off yesterday, had to fly to New York. So they're flying cross-country. And the Liberty, on the other hand, played a home game on Sunday against Phoenix. So one team did not have to travel. The other team had to travel all the way across the country. Not exactly a great spot for the Sparks, especially since motivation has looked like a serious concern and overall lack of focus has been a serious problem. I think the Sparks might just come out extremely flat in this game. And if you want to go through some trends, the Sparks are 1-7 ATS in their last 8 games. They've been mispriced recently for the last month or so. Some it's based on name recognition. Others might be because of the fact that they had talent on paper and the fact that people were hoping for them to actually get back on track after Derek Fisher was fired. That has not happened. But the Sparks have been overvalued for the last month or so. The Liberty seem to have started to get back on track to some degree. They're still alive for the playoff spot, so the Liberty with a young team seem pretty motivated to make a final push for a playoff spot, while the Sparks really seem to be playing out the string at this point. But 3.5 is definitely not going to stand by game time. Most books have 4 right now. I do expect a lot more Liberty money to come in. So 3.5 for me, I think is a very solid value play. And I'm going to take advantage of a Sparks team that has been overpriced pretty frequently over the last couple of weeks. Play that once again here for Tuesday, August 2nd is going to be on the Liberty, -3.5 at -114 on FanDuel. Bye, everyone.